Chuck, you've been to many of these general managers meetings over the year. There's not really big news that we look to see coming out of it, but what was some of the early discussion, at least in the first part of things on Monday?
You know, today was just very basic. We got into breakout groups and discussed different things, looking at 4-minute high sticking, looking at some different situations where whistles have blown and pucks have gone in the net. Just general discussion. Not a whole bunch going on so far today. I think there'll be a little bit more substance the next couple of days, but I think it really speaks to where the game's at right now in terms of the tone of the conversations. I've been down here some years where we've had some hot button issues and some things to resolve, but you know, the game's really in a great place. It's entertaining, it's fast, goal scoring's up, there's lead changes. I think we're in a great spot right now as a league, and I think the general managers recognize that. So it's more fine-tuning, general discussions going on right now.
You know, you mentioned the idea of like pucks going into the net after a whistle is blown. Is there anything you could do about that?
It's human, you know, there's human error in the game, and it's a fast game. The officials are making decisions in real time, and you're never going to get 100% right. They're doing the best they can, and I think that's what it comes down to, you know. And I think we got video review to a good place right now in terms of offsides and goalie interference. And obviously Toronto can look at situations where whether the puck went across the goal line or not. But you know, I think we're in a pretty good place right now with a lot of elements. How much of the human factor versus video review, and there doesn't seem to be a big appetite to changing some of the fundamental things right now.
All right, you took over this Philadelphia team, came in as a general manager during the season. That's always a little bit tricky. You got to try to find your way with the new group. Where do you think the team is at right now?
Well, right now we're playing well. Our biggest issue is we dug ourselves a big hole. We went 0-6-2 early in January, and I believe we were 31st in the league around January 10th. And from that point on, we've gone 16-3-2, I believe. We've played really well. You know, we're charging up the standings. We're just hoping there's enough runway there to keep our pursuit going. But we're playing really well, and I think the guys are focusing on the next game. I know it's cliches, but we've stayed in the moment pretty well, and we're in every game, and we're finding a way to get points, if not win most games right now. If we can do that for the next month, we'll be okay. But you know, I just give our players and our coaches a lot of credit.
You talk about your coaches. Scott Gordon is still an interim coach. I guess he's making a case maybe to keep the job.
Well, sure, and that's what I said when we named him interim head coach. It was going to give Scott an opportunity to really audition for a 4-month period, and for the two of us to get to know each other and see if we can work together. And Scott's doing a great job, and you know, we'll see what happens after the season. But you got to give credit not only to Scott but to the entire coaching staff and their preparation, their hard work, and it's paying off for our club right now.
Trade deadline just passed. You ended up having to move Wayne Simmonds, or you decided to move him. I mean, he's kind of an icon for that franchise for the last several years. How tough was that?
It is tough. You know, it was tough. It is tough. You know, Wayne certainly represented the Flyers the right way. He played the game hard. He was physical. He had skill. He scored goals. But, you know, as importantly, he was a great human being on the ice, in the dressing room, and in the community. So you can't really replace Wayne Simmonds. It was a tough decision. But, you know, certainly, you know, we did what we felt was right for the franchise going forward. But, you know, I don't know. We're probably looking for the next Wayne Simmonds right now. I mean, those types of players are hard to find, and one of the preeminent power forwards in the game.
We lost a legend today, Ted Lindsay, passing away. You've been in this game a long time. Obviously, your dad dates back many years. What are your recollections of Mr. Lindsay?
Well, I had a chance to meet Mr. Lindsay a few times, and first of all, a real gentleman, a great man, very, very humble, one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Did so much for the game off the ice, you know, tried, you know, trying to start the initial Players Association and standing up to some of the things he thought were wrong back in a time where the players didn't have a lot of rights, but just a great player on the ice, and yet he's so humble when you met him, and caring, and gave so much to the community in Detroit after his career was over, and gave so much to the game.
All right, Chuck, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, EJ.